My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC Vegas 30, we have Warlley Alves versus Jeremiah Wells in a very last-minute matchup and a pretty weird one at that. So Warlley Alves, alternating wins and losses. He's 3-2 in his last 5. Jeremiah Wells is 4-1 in his last 5, but his last fight was almost 2 full years ago. So Jeremiah Wells has not fought in 2 years, takes a short notice fight on literally 3 days notice, and it's a UFC debut fight. It's interesting because the stars are either aligning for something amazing or, you just got to take what you can get. And this may be a beating, but the UFC do him a favor next go around. So Warlley Alves, he is taking on very short notice. He's taking, he has a new opponent on short notice, but he's prepared, should be good to go. Tough, gritty guy that I think will win this fight. The question is, Jeremiah Wells is a good grappler, a very good grappler. He's a BJJ black belt. He throws wild. If you guys have done any research, you've seen the CES knockouts out there. He comes forward, he throws wild, but he also has the BJJ black belt in his back pocket. He's from Pennsylvania. He's a good wrestler. Pennsylvania wrestling is actually good, unlike Arkansas wrestling. I think.
Oh my God, the disrespect.
Okay.
You know how many Arkansas fans we picked up in the last few weeks? Now they're all gone.
Anyway.
Right. T-shirt sales are going to plummet.
I think Jeremiah Wells is very live in this fight.
It was the worst sales pitch ever. Hey, don't buy our T-shirt because this is stupid. Unreal.
I think he's very live in this fight. I'm not picking him to win, though. I think Warlley is the pick. Full training camp, has been consistent, an actual veteran with some solid fights. I think Jeremiah's live, may come out there and shock a lot of people, but I just don't, I don't have that kind of confidence. The dude hasn't fought in 2 years. It's his UFC debut, and he took it on 3 days' notice. So, Jacob, you love interrupting, so why don't you go ahead and give us your breakdown of this fight?
First of all, I would play the more and more on this. And I really wanted to make Jeremiah my lock of the week, honestly. We saw what happened, last week with the
McKinney.
one punch, the one punch guy. I think that Jeremiah could be that guy as well. He comes forward. He's got very, very fast hands. And as you mentioned, his jiu-jitsu in his back pocket. And he's got like the real jiu-jitsu under, Renzo Gracie. Is it Chenzo? How do you say
Henzo with an H.
It's Henzo.
Yeah.
So he's with Henzo. So he's got the real, that's the real deal jiu-jitsu there. So, Warlley has, so I have this as experience versus hand speed, honestly, on the feet, because Warlley is a good striker. He's good everywhere, and he has unbelievable experience, like you mentioned. So I think that Jeremiah is live. If this continues to go on past, the first minute 30, 2 minutes, the longer this fight goes, it's worse off for Jeremiah because Alves will find a way to win the fight. But I think he's definitely live. I wanted to make him my lock of the week, but I just wasn't that confident in that short notice with the layoff. So, but I have him winning the fight.
All right, yeah. So you have Jeremiah winning, and he is incredibly live. This is not when I first saw like the information, right? Last minute replacement. Hasn't fought in 2 years. When I first saw all of that, my notes literally were bet everything. And I was going to take every prop bet, money line, everything on Alves. And then when I did the research, and luckily Jeremiah's fought a bunch in the CES, so a lot of that tape is out there. I was like, okay. All right, maybe I'm not going to buy into the short notice hype, especially after last week when we picked when I picked McKinney to win. Dan, instead of interacting with the live chat right now, why don't you look up and break down this fight for us?
Hey, listen, I'm just interacting here with everybody. We're getting some good insight here. All right. So Joe Todoro said Jeremiah Wells is a Philly guy. So, I'm over here hustling. I'm putting out texts to some people I know in Philly just to find out the scoop. So Stay tuned. I'm going to get some updates here, and depending what they say, I'll let you guys know. Anyways, yeah, this is one of those fights where, like, short notice to me, it doesn't mean anything anymore because everybody knows that there's an opportunity. Like, fights are weekly now. They're taking guys short notice everywhere. So if you want to be in the UFC, stay in shape. And I think guys are doing that now. So I'm sure Jeremiah Wells is probably doing that. You're not getting guys off the couch anymore. So as far as the fight goes, Warlley Alves is tough. He's a gamer. He's good. He's got some tough wins. He's got some tough losses. I'm not going to touch this. I'm certainly not going to take Warlley Alves at $9,200. I don't think. I just don't trust this whole short notice thing, like people, like it was 2 years ago or something. So I'm going to do a little bit more digging because I know some people on the Philly scene to find out the story on him and what he's been doing. So stay tuned. But depending on what I hear, there might be a bet I play here. So I'm not touching this one for DraftKings at this point unless I get some concrete information from somebody on the scene locally in Philly. Because his last fight was 2019, so
that's
you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get. And if he's in shape, he could be a different person.
You never know what you're going to get.
What I will say is Jeremiah, I believe he's had a couple of fights scheduled that were canceled. So he's had, he's been getting ready on and off.
The guy's going to be ready. Look at him. Jesus Christ, he's going to be ready.
Anyway, I think the Monkey Knife Fight line, I think more and more I agree because I do think it'll go 3 full rounds. But again, we don't necessarily know what we're going to get with Jeremiah Wells. But I do think 3 full rounds, so more and more with Monkey Knife Fight is a play. I don't have a bet on this just yet. So, Dan, I will wait for you. I know who you're going to reach out to. So I'll wait to see what he says, what he tells you. And I will make a bet. People asked a little earlier if they go to WeWantPicks.com/bets and they make a deposit and then we give them the free money and then they play. Is that legal? And, California, this state, it is.
Oh, now we're going to have to edit all this out.
It's 100% legal. Offshore betting is absolutely 100% legal. Nothing sketchy, nothing weird about it. It is absolutely legal. Some states don't allow it because they have legalized sports betting. But I live in Texas, sports betting is not legal here. So I can go online 100% legally.
I think it's only one state that it was weird. One state.
It's Jersey. Yeah, it's Jersey.
Yeah. Right.
Either way,
it's basically the solution for any state where they don't allow gambling, where they don't allow sports betting. Like, you can do it on bet on. Like, that's what I use because Florida, it's not legal here yet.
And again, it's 100% legal. There's nothing sketchy about it. You can Google it. Offshore betting is perfectly legal. The analogy I always use is if you go on a cruise and they're like 200 feet offshore, all of a sudden
maritime law.
Right.